awesome that you are here. My name is Craig Pera, and you are listening to Sex Afflictions and Porn Addictions, a broadcast to help you create healthy sexuality and a great life. Today, I want to talk about a powerful tool to help you connect with the parts of you that you hate. So first though, before we go any further, this is obviously not counseling or therapy. If you need additional help beyond the help that I provide, if you need help from me, go visit the website, www.themindfulhabit.com. Check out my different programs. In fact, at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to give you an opportunity to save 35% on my core training program. But you might need more help, or you might need different help. If you go to the Internal Family Systems website, you can find a link to find a professional. Some of you may know I just completed the first round of my Internal Family Systems training. It is one of the most impactful things that I've done both personally and professionally. I've got a very, very high bar to bring value, and this training has exceeded that bar, is even better than I ever possibly imagined. And if you need additional resources, ifs-institute.com. ifs-institute.com. That's where you can find IFS trained therapists. IFS stands for the Internal Family Systems Model. Today, we're going to talk about the 6 Fs. The 6 Fs are designed to help you getting to know a part of you, and what I'm talking about now, a part of you that you might hate. Just notice what comes up when you hear those words, when you think about a part of you that you despise, a part of you that you loathe, a part of you that you hate. And I'm sorry if we're having some technical difficulties. Let me know in the chat how we are doing. My apologies. I've got clean feed on my end, but doesn't mean it is on yours. Maybe my internet is slow. I apologize. Hopefully you can hear me, and we'll give it an opportunity to get unstuck. Thank you for letting me know, TMT Tech. Awesome. All right. So let me tell you what the 6 Fs are. And the 6 Fs are designed to help you connect with a part of you that you got issues with. So let's first read a list of parts that we created in our men's group intensive program. You can check that out on the website. So the addict is a part. The part of you that lies could also be a part. The part of you that gets angry is a part. The part of you that gets defensive. The part of you that says, fuck it. The part of you that says, just one more time. The part of you that sabotages. The part of you that procrastinates. The part of you that feels like a piece of shit. The part of you that resents your partner. The perfectionist. These are all parts. These are all parts that I propose you need, you should learn to love, honor, respect, nurture, and protect, because these parts are all protectors. These parts are all trying to help in their own special way. And that may sound a little crazy. So let's go through the 6 Fs. And the part that I want to use, and by the way, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm going to talk about the part that resents my wonderful, incredible, awesome wife who saved my life, who didn't divorce me, who looked down at me 11 years ago, getting out of the hospital, fired from 2 jobs, threatened her financial security. And I have the audacity and the gall to have resentment. We all do. I do. You do too. So let's explore that part. Let's connect with that part and see how it goes. So let me tell you what the 6 F's are. Write these down. And if you Google this, you'll find a whole bunch of 6 F's, the 6 F's. First, what those 6 F's are. Second, we'll go through it. So find the part, number 1. Number 2, focus on the part. Yes, Angela talks about the part that doesn't seem to learn things easily. That's a great example of a part. And listen, I thought I saw things from the part's perspective. I was surrounded by incredibly talented, gifted healers who took that to another level, and I was impressed. I thought I saw everything from the part's perspective then. I even have a much, much, much deeper awareness now. Let's go through those 6 steps. First, we need to find the part. Second, you're going to focus on that part. Number 2, you're going to explore how you feel towards that part. Number 6, we're going to flesh it out. Explore, understand. Number 5 is befriend. Befriend this part, right? Can you imagine befriending your liar part? Your addict part, your piece of shit part, your resentment part. Oh my God. And find out the fears of that part and address them. So the 6 F's are find, focus, feel, flesh, befriend, and fears. So my resentment part. So we're going to find this part, right? I want you join me on this journey. Pick a part that needs your attention. Pick a part that needs some focus. Let's find it. And here are some questions to help you find it. Where do you find it and around your body? Where do you find so my resentment? Oh, I feel it in my stomach. That little feeling. I feel the tension in my neck because of all my neck injuries. Oh, thank you, Iron Marley. My podcasts are literally saving your life. That is so awesome, man. So awesome. Thank you. So where do you find this part in and around your body? I shared with you where my resentment part lives. How does that part of you show up? Right? My resentment part shows up when my wife, when there is conflict. Not just when there is conflict, when she asks a question. When she calls my name. When she says, Craig, right? There's an automatic, instantaneous projection of mother that happens when she calls my name. Brothers and sisters, I'm a little crazy. We know that, right? Just so we're all on the same page. This whole everything was me counterbalancing my crazy. And once I brought an awareness to this part, then I was able to change how I was showing up. So how does that part of you show up? How do you sense that part? How do I know resentment is being activated? I feel it. I feel an instant negativity. I feel an instant defensiveness. I feel an instant fear, anxiety, a micro panic attack. All right. So first, we want to find the part. And by the way, this is a circle. This isn't a one-time event. This is an ongoing journey. Ongoing journey. And by the way, not 10 out of 10 men that I work with in my program are projecting authority onto their partners. 9 out of 10, that authority is mother. That authority is mother. As Jewel says, I never looked at it that way, but yes, I think of my mom when my wife calls my name. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're going to find the part. Second, focus on it. And let me give you some questions to help you focus on it. Stay with it. Notice what this part is like. Words that go around this part that you're focusing on. Focus your attention on however you're experiencing it. Can you describe it? Well, my resentment part feels very defensive. My resentment part is very protective. My resentment part is ridiculously sensitive. Like, if I wasn't aware of it, I don't know how I'd be able to stay married. Because I am projecting that mother. I am projecting that control. I am projecting that authority. So that's just me. I'm not saying it needs to be you. And so what we're doing, for those of you who've joined us late, we are using the internal family systems model, the 6 F's, to explore how we feel about the part. And so we just focused on it. Third is feel. How do you feel towards that part? Now, this is an essential question. As you focus on that part, how are you feeling towards it? As you focus on that part, how are you feeling towards it? How does this part feel towards you? How does this part feel towards you? Now, listen, this stuff takes time. That's why I recommended the IFS therapist, the IFS Institute, right? These are layers and layers and layers and layers. And of course, we do this work too, but I want you to have additional resources. So how do you feel towards that part? There was a time in my life where I hated that part. There was a time when I really disliked that part because it caused so much chaos. Now that I understand that part tells me when I need something. That part alerts me to the reality that my system feels like it's under threat. It isn't under threat, but it feels that way. That resentment part alerts me to, okay, what do I do about it? Now, Ace in the chat asked a question. What if those sensations are too intense? When I focus on these parts of myself or my past, I am overwhelmed and have suicidal thoughts, anything to escape those feelings. Thank you so much for having the bravery and courage. Now, obviously, Ace, I'm not your coach. I'm not your counselor. The only thing that I can really honestly recommend is getting some help. Is finding a skilled practitioner to help you, because there was a time in my life, and listen, I'm only talk about my journey here. There was a time in my life when I couldn't think of my sexual assault. I couldn't think of some of the events from my childhood without being activated, without feeling like I had no way out. Like I had to escape. I had to get away from these feelings. And there was a time at my lowest point where I did try to unalive myself. Unsuccessful, more of a cry for help, as it always is for me. And so I know that feeling. I know that feeling. What I've learned about myself is that when those sensations are too intense, that is the site of the wound, right? That these triggers that I was having, this feeling of overwhelm, that part that wants to escape, right? There's also a part there that I had that couldn't be present with these feelings because there was such a deep wound. And I'm so blessed that I was able to find a therapist to help me connect with that part, to help me heal those deep, deep, deep wounds. And that's the beauty of the IFS model, Ace. And while I didn't know the model at the time, there were things that I was doing in my counseling, in my therapy, that was helping me deal exactly what you're going through. It takes time, it takes kindness, it takes love. So glad you're here. And remember, if you feel yourself, call 911, right? Get the help that you need to make sure that doesn't happen. Make sure that doesn't happen. And obviously, Ace, please don't take any of this as advice. You've got to find the right help that's right for you, because here's the thing that I've learned. As a coach, I've learned how important it is for me to stay in my lane. The right advice for person A is the wrong advice for person B. So that's why, if you noticed, I went right back to my experience, because that's really all I can speak to. And I'm so honored and blessed that you're sharing. For me, the depth of the wound, the intensity of the reaction was equal to the growth opportunity and healing that was ahead of me. And that sense of overwhelm that I experienced, those desires to check out, when I looked underneath the hood, if you will, and connected with the wounds behind those parts, there was significant trauma there. There was significant trauma. And so these 6 F's helped me, even though I didn't know then exactly what these 6 F's are. I've since applied these 6 F's to my life now, to my parts now, and it has brought me great, great, great value. I hope the same is true for you. So first, we found the part, we focused the part, and then we explored how we feel towards that part. Angela talks about maybe because I'm tearing up like that. That's for me, right? Wherever there is emotion, wherever there is reaction, wherever there is a wound, whenever there is conflict, whenever I lose agency and control, whenever there is vulnerability, there is a gift. There is a gift. And I love living in the world where I explore those gifts. Now, listen, let me be clear. I make mistakes. I say stupid things. I get in a fight with my wife. I snap at my kids. And when I do, there's a quick, whoa, wait a minute, hold up here, wait a minute. A part has been awakened, a wound has been touched. Let me honor that wound. Okay, let me honor that wound. And that comes through you getting to know your parts, So if there's a part that's, tearing up for me, I say, I'm curious. I'm curious about that part. I'm curious about that wound. I want to be present with that part of me that's tearing up, because in my world, vulnerability is a strength. I want to feel that part. I want to connect with that part. And so there's that. So we focused on find, focus, feel. 4 is flesh it out. So, and here are some questions you can ask that part of you to help you flesh it out. What does this part want you to know about it? What does this part want you to do, or what does this part want you to not do? My resentment part, I want it to not get stepped over, not get walked on, not get bossed around, not be controlled. It wants to make sure I'm standing up for myself, speaking my truth, being honest. Right? All these parts are opportunities. All these parts are beautiful opportunities to understand. As the great Richard Schwartz says in his book, no bad parts. There are no bad parts. Remember, you will always lose in a fight against yourself. So a couple more statements to help you flesh out this part. What does this part want for you? Why is it upset if it is? What does this part do for you? What is this part's job? I like to think of things from a human resources perspective. I love leveraging my executive experience. Is I want to know, what are the roles and responsibilities of that part? What is this part's job? What is this part's goals? What does this part want to accomplish? I love asking those questions of my parts. After fleshing it out, the next step is to befriend this part. And I know it sounds crazy: defensive, anger, liar, sabotage, procrastinate, addict, resentment, perfectionist. Befriend this part, right? Can I send this part some love? Do I have a little bit more understanding of this part? Do I recognize, hey, at a minimum, I don't know what's going on here, but I know I'm going to lose in a fight with myself. And you'll see on the screen, I have a list to the IFS Institute and a link to find their practitioners. So befriend this part. Does this part sense your presence? Would it be okay to get a little closer to this part? What would you like to say to this part? And this befriending, and remember these 6 F's are not in order. They're guidelines. They're a framework to help you connect with a part of you. And after befriending it, sometimes before befriending it, whatever the right order is for you, what are its part's fears? And let me tell you one of my favorite questions. And I'm asking my part, hey, resentment, what do you fear would happen if you stopped doing your job? I'll get walked on. I'll get taken advantage of. I will get hurt. Now, listen, none of those things are true in my marriage. That is not a reality, but there was a point in time in my life when those things were true. The resentment part of me is a protector. So what would happen if I didn't resentment? What would happen if I didn't listen to you? I see what's going on here. What would happen if you didn't act that way? Is there another way we can offer this part hope? Is there another way that we can get these needs met in a healthy, constructive way? What if we could do this safely without your worst fear happening? Is there another way we can be proactive in getting your needs met in your relationship? And the answer is unequivocally yes. Unequivocally yes. So to review, the 6 F's of the internal family systems to help you getting to know a part of you is: number 1, to find the part; number 2, to focus on the part; number 3, to find out how you feel about this part; number 4, to flesh it out, to flesh this part out, to understand this part better; number 5, this is a tricky one, particularly for some of these parts that we think are ugly: befriend the part, remembering that you will always lose in a fight against yourself, and all of your parts are trying to do something for you and meet needs. After you flesh it out, befriend the part and find out the fears of this part and address them proactively, offering this part hope. What if we could do it another way? What if we could meet those needs without that reactionary resentment in a healthy, constructive way? What if there's a reality where you're not getting walked on, you're not projecting your past onto your present, you're not carrying with you what they call those legacy burdens, all the junk from your past, the pain, the traumas from your past, the intergenerational trauma, right? What if we could be present with that feeling and respond to it in a healthy, constructive way? And those 6 F's have changed my life, have changed the lives of many of my clients. I hope they help you. I want to thank you for joining me on this short journey. I had 30 minutes today, and I wanted to share this, and I'm going to be doing more of that, finding these little pockets of time, jumping in, boom, here are the 6 F. Here are some questions you can ask these parts, share with you some of the great information that I'm learning. And if you need more help, if you need structure, if you are getting value from these podcasts and are interested in my core training program, visit the website, www.themindfulhabit.com. look at that core training. And use podcast to get 35% off, whether you pay in installments, whether you pay all at once. Thank you, everybody who joined me. Look forward to the next one, and I'll catch you all later. Make it great, feed the right wolf, and embrace your power of choice. Bye, everybody.